This is Mission Control Houston. A view from the International Space Station. It's a camera view from the exterior of the International Space Station being controlled by...
It's no secret that space is supposed to be silent, empty, and predictable. But what happens when the cameras up there catch something that shouldn't exist? From strange objects drifting past the station to unexplained lights hovering over Earth, astronauts have filmed moments that still don't have an answer. Here are 30 times astronauts captured what no one was supposed to see. An official NASA live feed shows Earth from high orbit. And at first, everything looks calm and routine. As the camera slowly pans across the planet, two dark rectangular shapes suddenly appear, floating together in space. The camera zooms in on one of the objects as it drifts above the atmosphere. Just as its structure starts to come into focus, the broadcast does something that leaves everyone stunned. Sudden cuts during live space feeds only feed speculation, leaving viewers to wonder if it was a simple technical glitch or something else entirely. A grainy old camera feed settles on the glowing moon before cutting to a closed, detailed view of the barren lunar surface. At first, it looks like a standard survey of the terrain, nothing but craters and coal gray dust. The camera keeps scanning the uneven landscape, then glides toward a massive crater. Sitting right in the middle of the depression is something that breaks the natural, rugged pattern of the moon completely. Its sharp symmetry doesn't belong in the random chaos of space. Sightings like this make people ask if the moon has been hiding secrets nobody was meant to find. The camera captures the exterior of the International Space Station, showing the usual calm view of the cosmos. The huge structure glides through orbit as normal, until a mysterious shape appears out of nowhere and drifts past the equipment.
This morning, Chris Cassidy had noted an object that was past the station near the Station Progress 52 cargo ship.
Astronauts and viewers watch the strange object float above Earth's atmosphere. The camera zooms in for a closer look, and as its fiery details sharpen in the darkness, what shows up next catches everyone off guard.
Again, what we are...
Mission Control later called it a discarded antenna cover, but a glowing anomaly appearing out of nowhere in deep space is still enough to send chills down anyone's spine. A camera mounted outside the station films the blinding glow of the sun against the darkness of space. The shot holds steady on this quiet moment, but the void around it is about to reveal more than expected. As the lens pulls back, more comes into view than just stars. A cluster of bright white lights gathers in the lower corner, with faint red specks drifting past the frame. None of it looks like city lights below or a passing satellite. The camera keeps rolling as the lights hover at the edge of the frame, with parts of the station barely visible nearby. What it caught was never officially explained, and the footage was quietly filed away without answers. During the STS-117 space shuttle mission, NASA cameras record a routine view of the station floating above Earth. The crew keeps an eye on the exterior while everything looks quiet, until something suddenly grabs their attention.
Okay, there it is.
This is Mission Control Houston. A view from the International Space Station. It's a camera view from the exterior of the International...
The live feed locks onto the unidentified object as it drifts closer to the station. Mission controllers in Houston scramble to figure out what's moving alongside the spacecraft, and the situation only gets stranger from there.
Some possible debris being captured. Ground controllers will do a little bit of it.
NASA officially said the objects were paint flakes or other minor debris, but many viewers still believe the leaked footage shows something harder to explain. During the Apollo 10 mission, astronauts orbit the far side of the moon, completely cut off from radio contact with Earth. The camera shows the quiet lunar surface below them, and a peaceful flight through space until a strange sound breaks the silence.
You want some more brownies? Now. First, nice little hungry.
A bizarre, unnatural whistling fills their headsets, leaving the crew confused. As the noise keeps playing over the radio, the astronauts try to make sense of it, and one of them says out loud just how creepy the moment feels.
Yeah, it sounds like, outer space type music. Hey, Tom, is your insulation all burned off here?
Hearing unexplained sounds while cut off in the darkest part of space is enough to make anyone uneasy about what else might be out there. A camera mounted on the outside of a space shuttle records a routine view of Earth as the spacecraft orbits the planet. Everything looks calm as the wing stretches out over the dark landscape below, until something unexpected drifts into frame. The camera zooms in to track two bright metallic spheres hovering near the craft. They hold a perfectly synchronized formation in zero gravity, and what happens next leaves observers completely baffled. Objects moving in a structured formation right beside a manned spacecraft remain one of the most puzzling mysteries in modern space exploration. A high-orbit satellite points its cameras at the wide blue expanse of the South Pacific Ocean. Scattered white clouds drift quietly over the water until the feed picks up a small disturbance, and everything changes fast. A massive underwater volcano erupts with incredible force, sending a shockwave ripping across the atmosphere. The blast instantly forms a terrifying ash cloud that spreads in every direction, swallowing the ocean below. Hours later, the true scale of the explosion becomes painfully clear. Watching that kind of power from outer space makes it clear how quickly our world can descend into chaos. A camera mounted on the International Space Station records a stunning view of Earth's glowing horizon as the station orbits in total silence. It looks like a normal shot of the sun lighting up the atmosphere, until something unexpected shows up in the dark void. A large glowing diamond-shaped object comes into view, hovering silently and reflecting light. The camera keeps rolling as the station's solar panels slowly pan into frame, and the true scale of the object finally becomes clear. Strange sightings caught on official live streams keep viewers asking whether we're alone out there, or if something we can't explain is watching from deep space. An astronaut steps outside the International Space Station wearing an action camera to document a dangerous spacewalk. While slowly moving along the exterior, they reach down to unhook the primary safety tether. As their grip shifts and the camera angle changes, it captures a view that will make your stomach drop. With nothing but a single thin wire keeping them from drifting into the dark abyss, the astronaut turns to look outward. What lies directly beneath their feet is both mesmerizing and terrifying. This dizzying first-person view of the void makes clear just how fragile a human life is once it's exposed to open space. The ISS livestream shows nothing but stars and silence, the kind of calm shot millions have watched with nothing unusual happening. But this time something slowly enters the frame from the right and hangs in the darkness where it clearly doesn't belong.
I will not do anything except the work point. There you go. Thanks for the heads up.
The lights grow brighter as they drift toward the center, forming a tight cluster that moves together in a way no satellite or piece of debris should. Just as it becomes impossible to look away, the feed cuts out.
Agree with Shankini, thanks.
A message pops up claiming a routine loss of signal. NASA says it was just a technical issue, but the timing has plenty of people wondering what they weren't supposed to see. In 1991, the STS-48 mission filmed something above Earth that experts still argue about today. The camera shows a calm view of the planet from orbit, but several objects are already moving through the upper frame in a pattern that doesn't match any known satellite or piece of space debris.
Roll plus 30 degrees on the gimbal before we started running.
Roger, that'll protect you from the ram.
The objects drift silently for a moment, barely visible against the darkness. Then a bright flash erupts from below the frame, and what happens next leaves scientists completely stumped.
Receiving downlink from Discovery as it passes over the Pacific Ocean. Once again,
NASA blamed ice particles caught in a thruster blast, but the way the objects reacted and pulled away from the flash still has many researchers wondering if they were watching something far more deliberate than debris. An astronaut aboard the ISS had just finished a routine task when he looked out the window and noticed something badly wrong below. He grabbed a camera and pointed it at the East Coast, where a thick black column was rising from a city that should have been having a normal morning.
Window facing in the right direction. The weather was perfectly clear that day. We could easily see New York City. A big black column of smoke coming out of the city.
As he zoomed in, the view got even more haunting. A massive gray cloud was slowly swallowing southern Manhattan, spreading out in a way that made the scale of the event impossible to ignore from 250 miles up.
We can see New York City and the smoke from the fires. Our prayers and thoughts go out to all the people there and everywhere else.
He would later realize they had just watched the exact moment everything changed, capturing one of history's darkest days from a view no one on the ground could ever get. Looking out a window on the International Space Station, an astronaut films a peaceful view of Earth below. The scenery is beautiful, but the calm breaks fast when something strange appears in the distance. A large white object slowly drifts into frame, hovering above the clouds. It closes in on the station, its sleek shape standing out against the blue ocean. The crew watches as it inches toward the window, and what happens next feels completely surreal. It might look like a classic UFO encounter, but this eerie footage actually shows a SpaceX cargo vessel running a routine docking procedure in the vacuum of space. The scene opens on a view of Earth from space, with part of the International Space Station visible at the top of the frame. The blue horizon glows brightly against the darkness at first, but as the minutes pass, the light slowly dims, and the planet turns dark. The screen goes completely dark before a faint green light starts to glow along the horizon. The arc brightens and shifts as it dances across the darkness until the sun finally breaks over the edge, flooding everything with light. Being an astronaut means seeing views that are hard to put into words, the kind of moments most people will never get the chance to witness. A woman aboard a spacecraft floats near a large glass dome, looking down at the incredible, cloud-covered view of Earth passing below. Fully weightless, she lightly holds a wire while moving her body through the cabin.
Hey everyone, so what we're looking at is the Earth from our perspective. So we are flying this huge window, the biggest window that's ever been flown.
The scale of the planet outside the window is mesmerizing. Instead of just staring out into the void though, she decides to make the most of her surroundings.
Parameter of the Earth, which is so beautiful. And so I hope that you're getting to see what what we see, which is passing over some really beautiful.
Moments like this show a lighter side of space travel, the pure, unfiltered joy of true weightlessness while floating hundreds of miles above everyone else. High above Earth, astronaut Jessica Meir was filming a calm view of the planet's dark side from the International Space Station. Space usually looks still and quiet, but as the camera rolled, a glowing anomaly began snaking its way across the atmosphere. Instead of fading, the strange green ribbons keep twisting and shifting at incredible speed. As the station glides closer, the whole horizon transforms. This massive aurora shows just how unpredictable the natural forces on our planet can look from the very edge of space. When NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory turned its cameras toward the sun in March 2012, it caught an anomaly that left viewers baffled. Hovering near the blazing surface was a shadowy, planet-sized sphere, seemingly tethered to the star by a massive dark filament. To many, it looked exactly like a massive alien spacecraft fueling up on solar plasma. The anomaly stayed anchored to the star for a while, and what this giant dark mass does next is hard to believe. It looks like a scene from a sci-fi movie, but NASA scientists eventually explained the footage. The towering anomaly, they said, was a common solar prominence, made of cool, dense plasma held up by strong magnetic fields. Orbiting hundreds of miles above Earth, astronauts on the International Space Station often get a peaceful view of glowing city lights below. During a routine watch over the pitch-black night, the crew set up a high-speed camera to monitor the atmosphere. Everything looked normal as they drifted over the dark surface, until their equipment picked up a sudden shift in the darkness. Far in the distance, huge bursts of energy started erupting from the clouds. These weren't camera glitches or reflections off the station's glass. The raw power of these storms lighting up the edge of the planet makes for an unforgettable scene. Catching severe high-altitude storms from space gives a rare look at just how chaotic nature's power can get. From high above the ocean, a camera captures the full scale of a massive hurricane, its clouds spiraling in a perfect circle around a calm, dark eye at the center. Something is sitting right inside that eye, and it isn't supposed to be there. A small dark object hovers within the storm's center, circled in red for emphasis. While the winds rage on every side, the object starts moving, not with the storm but against it, shifting on its own. Whatever it is, it holds its position inside one of the most violent forces on Earth. Footage like this raises a question nobody has answered. What can fly into a hurricane and come out unscathed? Orbiting high above Earth, an astronaut films through the space station's window, capturing a wide view of the blue planet below. Bright clouds sweep across the atmosphere as the camera slowly zooms in on the scenery. And that's when an unexpected shape enters the frame. Three glowing white objects appear, forming a perfect triangle as they move steadily over Earth. They stay locked together, maintaining the same distance from each other as they glide through the upper atmosphere. Spotting lights moving in perfect alignment above our own planet is enough to leave even trained professionals speechless. While orbiting above Earth's snow-covered landscape, the camera on the space station pans across mile after mile of frozen terrain. From hundreds of miles up, it all looks like ordinary winter wilderness until the station's path reveals an enormous out-of-place shape. Stretching for miles across the ground, a perfectly round ring marks a massive ancient scar on Earth's surface. What the camera caught is the frozen remains of a huge cosmic impact from millions of years ago. Seeing proof of the universe's destructive power from the quiet safety of orbit shows just how fragile our world really is. A camera points at the moon in broad daylight, its craters and ridges clear against the sky. Something small creeps in from the left side, a tiny shape barely noticeable at first, moving fast. The object races across the moon's face in under a second. For a brief moment, its outline is sharp. Solar panels, modules, antennas, a fully built space station silhouetted against the lunar surface. Then it's gone. The ISS travels at nearly 28,000 kilometers per hour, which makes a crossing like this almost impossible to catch. Doing it in daylight, with perfect timing and alignment, makes this footage something most people will never see again. A NASA astronaut pulls out his iPhone during the Artemis II mission and points it straight at the moon. The surface fills the whole frame, every crater and ridge sharp and clear. As the camera slowly pulls back, something else begins to creep into view from behind the moon's edge. A small, bright sphere drifts out from behind the moon, Earth, seen from deep space. This is raw, unedited footage shot on a phone, showing a view of our planet that almost nobody gets to see firsthand. Astronauts carefully hold a tiny droplet of fuel between metal prongs inside a dark testing chamber aboard the space station. On Earth, everyone knows what happens when you light a fire. The flames stretch upward. In microgravity, the reaction plays out completely differently. As the fuel catches, the initial bright flash quickly collapses into a shape nobody would expect. Instead of a normal flickering flame, a nearly perfect glowing blue sphere forms around the droplet. This floating ball of fire keeps burning slowly in the dark, showing just how strange things get once the laws of physics change in orbit. Colored lights from fishing boats dot the dark ocean. As the station continues north toward mainland Japan, an unexplained anomaly suddenly appears. Among the scattered white city lights, a cluster of bright red lights glows intensely in the dark. Even the astronauts filming it couldn't explain what it was, and they asked the public if anyone recognized it. Just as the crimson glow fades into the distance, the whole scene gets wiped away by a sudden, blinding shift. An intense orbital sunrise floods the camera with light, leaving the strange red glow as one more mystery from the night. An astronaut aboard the International Space Station points a camera at the empty patch of space just above Earth's atmosphere. The view remains still and dark for the first few moments, until a bright anomaly begins to peek over the horizon. The glowing white sphere keeps climbing, looking like something unexplainable floating directly into the camera's path. It might make anyone question what they're seeing, but as the object rises higher into the black void, the truth finally comes into focus. This mysterious glowing orb turns out to be a moonrise, a breathtaking view that very few people ever get to experience. An astronaut looking through a spacecraft window records a striking view of Earth from orbit. The planet looks calm at first, but as the camera settles on a dark stretch of ocean, a massive, swirling shape starts to take form. The storm's eye swirls over the water, revealing a terrifying force building just above Earth's surface. As the station keeps moving along its path, the full scope of what's happening below becomes hard to look away from. Massive weather events seen from orbit reveal the raw, unpredictable power of nature, where calm skies can turn to destruction in no time. A camera sits on the surface of the moon, pointed at a lunar module, its metal exterior gleaming against the blackness of space. The module sits motionless on the dusty ground until a voice breaks the silence over the radio, and history is about to happen.
99, proceeded, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston. Vector grid. X-Sot.
A burst of light and debris erupts from the base as the module's upper section suddenly detaches and shoots upward, leaving its landing gear behind. It accelerates fast into the dark sky, quickly becoming a bright speck as it heads back to orbit.
Okay, 30 seconds. 308, your number. Okay, coming through 1,500 feet.
This is the Apollo 17 liftoff, a rare, striking look at humanity's boldest attempts to reach beyond our own world. Two astronauts aboard a space station work together in the middle of a cramped cabin. One of them slowly squeezes a pouch, forming a large, clear ball of water that floats perfectly in place right in front of them. After looking at the floating sphere, they grab a tiny camera and push it directly into the water. The small device slips inside the bubble, but what the lens captures from the inside isn't what you'd expect. Instead of just getting wet, the camera films the entire cabin through a thick layer of water, turning the smiling crew into a strange, distorted sight that you could never see back on Earth.